And yeah, I'll start your reading right now for Libra. So the first card you have for your past is the Star. I love this card. This is a beautiful card, but it can be positive. It can be a little bit negative as well. It can be so many different things. I love it so much, though. It's beautiful. So I'm seeing a few different things in this card. Obviously, there's some hope with the Star. Also, this is telling me that you're very, very capable. You're highly capable of something. And there's that, and there's also a little bit of vulnerability in there. So I think I'm seeing two things in here. I'm seeing, work, and I'm seeing work, but I'm seeing your general attitude toward the way that you feel about yourself. I think I'm feeling a lot of sort of newness, unfamiliarity. I don't know if you've started a new job, or it might be that you're in the same job, but you're just feeling as if you're not quite up to things. People do look up to you. I'm seeing that, and I don't know if you teach or advise or you do something like that in your work, but a lot of people look up to you. It's like you're the star to them. It's like you're their hope. You teach them things and they look up to you and they learn from you. That's what I'm seeing. And you might be a little bit worried that you're kind of not quite up to your job, or you feel that people are going to kind of expose you or something like that. There's nothing to expose. There's nothing to expose. There's nothing to expose. I think a lot of this is just what's in your mind. If you look at this woman as well, you can see this in two ways. You can see that she's brave and she's unself-conscious. She's out there. And I think that's what you like in front of people, when people are looking up to you and you're teaching them or whatever it is in your work. But then there's this other side of this naked woman, which is that she's a little bit vulnerable. And I think that's how you feel sometimes on the inside. So, really, you've got to realize that you're actually a lot more capable than you think. I don't know whether there's something where you're kind of not as qualified as you'd like to be. It might be that. Sometimes that bothers people. But, you are extremely qualified and you're extremely capable. And I think a lot of this kind of imposter thing that you're thinking about, oh, I'm an imposter, I'm not really who they think I am, that's all in your head. You wouldn't be where you are if you couldn't do what you could do. And so, get all of that out of your mind. It's all going around in your head. People look up to you. You're the star to people. That's what I'm seeing in that card. So the next card you have your past is the Three of Wands. So yeah, you might be thinking of doing a little bit of extra study to kind of tick a few boxes to kind of say, oh, I've got this qualification. If you're doing it for that, there's nothing wrong with doing that, but if you're doing it for that reason, I'd say that would be the wrong reason to do that, because you don't need to do that. You are completely capable. You know what you're doing. You don't need to sit there and pretend to study what you already know, because that's what you'd be doing, to say that you've ticked this and you've got that. There's no point in doing that. If it's because you do actually want to learn and you're going to get a lot out of this and you love it, that's a better reason to doing that, not because of what you think people will think of you. I'm just here to tell you that you are perfectly capable, you're qualified, and there's no reason for you to feel otherwise. That's what I'm seeing. There's also a little bit of unsurety in you toward a relationship, I think, or a love connection. I don't know if this was actually a proper relationship or not yet. There's a lot of unsurety around this. I think a lot of the unsurety was coming from you, but also from this other person. I think maybe it's not quite, I don't know if it's quite a relationship yet or not. I think you were kind of hoping that it would be, but then there was still a lot of mixed up unsurety inside of your head around this. I don't know if this started off as some kind of friendship or friends with benefits. It might be that. I think it started off quite casually, and there was a kind of a blurring of, whether you are friends or whether you're together or whether it's a proper relationship or what it is. So there might be that. I also think there might be some kind of a trust issue around this, and it might be because it started off as casual and you didn't know whether they were seeing other people or what they were doing or what happened around that. So that might have caused that. I think you would like this to be a true relationship, but I think the unsurety stopping you, and I think this kind of trust issue stopping you as well. You want a full relationship. You don't want this kind of a half relationship. That's what I'm seeing. If you look at this card, this man's waiting for these 3 ships to come in, and sometimes they can mean different things, but I think he's waiting for a full, proper relationship, and that's the 3 things: body, mind, and soul. That's what he's waiting for. At the moment, you don't have that. You might have body and mind without soul, or you might have body and soul without mind or something, but you don't have that proper commitment. Deep down, you want that, I think, but you have this trust issue as well, or you did at this time. That's what I'm seeing there. So you have a lot of unsurety about, whether you're good enough at work. You have unsurety about this relationship or whatever this is. And so there's all these things kind of messed up. And I think sometimes you can't quite work out whether something's a fact or whether it's kind of your imagination, because you get so worried. So I think, maybe try and sit down and write all these things out and say, okay, is that based on fact or not? Or is that based on what I'm imagining? Is that based on fact? Can I do this job? Or is it like I'm imagining I'm not good enough? Try to do that. That might help if you do that. Writing things down can really help sometimes. So the last card, you have your past's death. Yeah, this is showing you, this is what this is showing you. Death's about change, big change. So I think the death card's showing you that you're going to have to change. You're going to have to change all this indecision. You're going to have to change this feeling of not being good enough. You are good enough. And I think you're going to have to work out what you're going to do in this relationship. If you find out that, if you weigh all these things up and the facts tell you that there is some reason for you feeling as if there is some trust issue there, if you can't really trust them, just know that you're also good enough to leave. You don't have to be in this, no matter how you feel, because I think you can say no to this if you want to, because I think you might feel as if you can't, or you feel as if you owe them. There's that around that as well. I don't know if that makes sense to you. Yeah, I think this is all about really moving from one mindset to another one, this indecisive, messed up kind of mindset to one that's very, very clear. So writing things out might help, thinking of all the things that, think about, is this fact-based, is it not? I think that's the way you have to go. I know I'm repeating myself, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I think this love connection does have a very genuine, I think they do have genuine feelings for you. I think they do love you. But I think if there is a genuine trust issue, you can't ignore that one way or the other. I think you're going to have to decide, do I want to go ahead with this person, or do I want to not go ahead with this person? And I think you're going to have to really sort out, is this trust issue a big thing for me? Is it something that I can get past? Is it something that's actually real or not? It might not be based on anything. So you've got to sort all that out. So again, maybe just write that out as well. And also be honest with them, just see how they react. If they're open to talking about this, that's a good sign. You can tell when someone's genuine. You can tell, I think your instincts always tell you when someone's being genuine or not. Well, I can see that, and you can as well. Usually, if you let your instincts out, because I think sometimes they get a bit mixed up with your feelings, your indecisiveness and all of that, and you can't tell kind of where your instincts are sometimes. So I think, again, the death card's reminding you, make this big change, sort out the fact from the fiction, get your head clear around all of that, and then you can move forward. I think that's what that's about. I hope that made sense. I know that was a little bit mixed up. So the first card you have your present is the Ace of Wands. So yeah, this is the action card. It's also the passion card. I love this card. So this is what you need. You need to take action. You need to work out where you truly are, where you truly stand, whether you actually do want this relationship. There is love there and there's passion there as well. But, you know, without trust, the first two things can disappear very quickly and very easily. You know, you can lose passion for someone very easily if you can't trust them. And, you know, you can lose everything if you can't trust someone. So you've got to sort that out. That's what I'm seeing there again. I think there might be some kind of travel opportunity coming up for you. I don't think it's a big trip. I'm not seeing huge distances, but I think there might be some kind of, some kind of opportunity where you might be able to talk to this person without any distractions around you. You know, because I'm just seeing you being together somewhere for a while without, you know, distractions of everyday life and things like that. So if this resonates, I think this would be a really good opportunity for you to have these conversations, because you do need to have conversations with them. You do need to move forward in some way. I keep on seeing that, whether that's deciding to really go for this relationship properly or to go the other way. Some decision has to be made. You know, you have this card, the card of moving forward, and you have the Death card, which is the card of changes, huge changes that have to happen. So this is the crossroads. This is where you have to make these decisions. That's what I'm seeing. Right, so the first card you have your present is the Chariot. So yeah, here's some travel again in this card, travel coming up for you. And I think there might be some opportunities coming up with that as well. I think being away physically from your normal day-to-day life, I think that's really going to help your mind to start to clear things up as well. And again, this is another reminder that you're very, very knowledgeable, you're very capable. If you look at the driver of this chariot, he's not steering with his hands, he's steering it with his mind. And once your mind's clear, once you've sorted out the fact from the fiction, I think you're going to be able to steer your life, and you're going to be able to do that with a lot more purpose, a lot more conviction. And you'll also be able to achieve a lot more in a lot of areas of your life, all different areas of your life, because your head will just be clearer and you won't have this indecision, you won't have this kind of, made up thing in your head, I'm not good enough. That'll all go away. But you need to take the time to sort out the fact from the fiction to enable you to do that. So, even if you don't have the opportunity to get away from your normal day-to-day life, again, take some time to sort all of this out in your head properly. The relationship, the work, and everything. So the last card you have your present is the King of Swords. Okay, I'm actually seeing a lot of hurt in this card. Feeling hurt, feeling closed off. I'm seeing a lot of defensiveness in this card as well. I don't think this is about you. I think this might be about an ex, and I think it might be your partner's ex, actually. This is a really angry person. I'm really feeling this anger, and they're a bit uptight as well. Okay, I don't know if there was some overlap between this old relationship and your relationship, the one you're in now. There's definitely something like that, I think, and maybe this is why this person's so angry. And it might also be why you have these trust problems. So think about that. Is there overlap? Is that the reason why? And if you can't bear that, if there's overlap, or they were seeing someone else while they were seeing you and you just can't bear that, that might be your decision made for you. But just think about that. I think you're a lot more reasonable than this ex, their ex. They are very angry. I keep on seeing that. I'm feeling a lot of anger around this. I don't know if I should say this, but yeah, I have to say this. I can't not say this. I think whoever you're with might be making this ex out to be a lot worse than they actually are. They are a difficult person. They're bad-tempered. I can see that everywhere. But if there was some overlap, maybe they had a good reason to be angry, bad-tempered. They're an angry person, but they're not a crazy person, and they never harm anyone. So they're not as bad. They're not that bad. I'm getting the feeling this person's telling you, oh, they're so angry, they're crazy, they'll harm me, all of that kind of thing. So, just watch out if someone's telling you they have crazy exes behind them, especially if someone has a string of crazy exes behind them. I'm not saying they have a string of crazies behind them, but sometimes there's a reason why exes go a bit crazy. If there was overlap, if someone was cheating, if this person was cheated on, maybe they have a reason to be a bit crazy or a bit angry. I mean, a lot of these people say, oh, I have these crazy exes, I don't know why they're so crazy. Well, if you cheated on them, or if you hurt them, or if you did something horrible to them, yeah, that's why they're crazy. They're not just crazy because they feel like being crazy. So anyway, that's just something to think about, and I've probably made you even more confused now. I don't mean to. I'm trying to clear your head and stop it from being confused. But yeah, if I see something, I am going to say it. I'm not going to say nothing. So yeah, so the first card you have for your future is the Four of Pentacles. Yeah, I've seen this a lot in your readings, actually, sorting out your money problems. I think you've been trying to do this for a long time. I think now things are really starting to come together money-wise. I'm actually seeing one big expense that you used to have that you don't have anymore, and I think it might have been totally eliminated, actually. I don't know if this is something you're paying off, but whatever it is, it's either gone or it will be gone soon. Yeah, you still have a lot of, or a few, not a lot, but you still have some worries around money. You still have that kind of worry around you. I think you're a natural worrier around that. But I think also it might be because I think I'm seeing a big money drop that you had at one time in your past, a big money drop. I think you had this great job or something, you're on top of the world at one time, and then I think it fell through, or you lost that job, or something happened and there was a big drop. Something like that happened. So ever since then, you've been kind of very worried all about money. But you've been slowly building that up again. And you haven't got to where you used to be back then, but I mean, that's fine. You're doing really well. And I think you've been really careful around money, and I think it's been working out really well for you. So if you keep on going the way you're going, it's going to build up again gradually, and I think it's going to start to build up a lot quicker than it was now because of this big thing that's been eliminated. So yeah, I also think you might have had some sort of ex-drama around money at one time, and I think a lot of that's calmed down now as well, so that's going to be helpful for you in that area as well. So the next card you have, your future's Justice. Yeah, so obviously this is you balancing things up, balancing up your mind, eliminating fact from fiction. So if this is what you're doing, keep on doing this. I hope you are. I'm also seeing polarity in this card, two separate sides. So when you have these conversations with your partner, and you need to have them, whether you go away, whether you can't go away, whatever, you do need to have conversations with them. You need to sort this out. So when you do, I'll say when you do, because I want you to do this, try not to get into any kind of me versus them mentality. Don't get into a sort of tennis match where the ball goes backwards and forwards. Don't lose sight of what your aim is with these conversations, because I think the purpose of these conversations is to work together, try to understand each other. And yeah, it's also for you to help you to make up your mind about whether you want this or not. But if you start getting defensive, or if they start getting defensive, and you can't start arguing backwards and forwards, it's not going to get anywhere. It's just going to be a battle of I'm right, no, I'm right, no, I'm right. And that does not get anyone anywhere. It just makes everyone frustrated. You need to come together. You need to find out what the answers to some questions are. Now, again, it might help you. It sounds silly, but it might help you to write all the things down. I want to know this. I'd like to know what happened on this date. I'd like to know if you were still with this person while you started seeing me, or if you'd stopped at this time. I'd need to know that. And you do need to know that, because I think if you don't clear up some of these things that are on your mind, and you decide to be with them and have a proper relationship with them, you'll always have that question mark in your head. So you need to clear things up. That's what I'm seeing. But yeah, just be careful of the way you do this. Don't be defensive, and don't kind of cause them to be defensive either. You have to be very careful. You know, this card can be a bit like a court case. You know, let's hear my side, let's hear your side. You know, you're here to work out what you both want, you and them. So, you know, you're not here to create divisions. But again, you do need to find out what the answers are to these things. So, you know, it's a fine line. It's going to be difficult. Yeah, so the last card you have for your future is the Ten of Pentacles. Yeah, I think they do want to work with you. I think they'd be happy to have these conversations with you. I think they do see a future with you. I think they absolutely do want that, and they want to build with you as well. But again, you need to sort out whatever this trust issue is, and you need to have these conversations. And I know they're probably going to be quite difficult conversations to have. You know, if you look at the family on this card, they're not communicating. They're not communicating properly. You know, they're together, but no one's communicating. The only two people talking are the couple in the middle, and they're about to walk past each other anyway. So talk about the hard things. Don't talk about other things, and then when it comes to this kind of trust issue, you kind of say, oh, I won't talk about that now because it's too hard and I don't want to make them angry. And I don't do that. You have to talk about them. But again, it's a fine line. Approach this carefully and make sure you don't get them defensive. I know this is really tricky. This is like a minefield, and it is going to be a bit like that. But I think it's necessary to kind of get that peace of mind for yourself if this is all resonating with you. So Libra, I hope this resonated, but general readings can't always resonate with everyone. But again, if you like this reading, please like, subscribe, leave a comment if that's what you like to do, only if that's what you like to do. And yeah, thank you so much for watching.